Welcome back my channel Numismatics Hub. It's 2008, and the world is facing a year of both excitement and uncertainty. The global financial crisis looms on the horizon, but in the midst of this turbulent time, something smaller, but equally significant, is making its way into the hands of Americans, something that will come to be cherished by coin collectors for years to come. It's a coin that represents a moment in history and a piece of the American landscape, the 2008 Idaho State Quarter. The State Quarter program, which began in 1999, was one of the most successful and popular coin initiatives in U.S. history. Designed to honor each of the 50 states, the program featured a new quarter for each state, showcasing an image that represented that state's unique history, culture, and landscape. The Idaho Quarter, released in 2007 as part of this program, holds a special place in both American and numismatic history. Now, as we dive into the story of the 2008 Idaho State Quarter, it's essential to take a look at the historical context behind its creation. Idaho, one of the westernmost states in the United States, is known for its natural beauty, vast wilderness, and rich mining history. The state's nickname, the Gem State, speaks to the valuable minerals and gemstones that have been mined there for centuries. Its diverse landscapes, from the jagged peaks of the Rocky Mountains to the rugged terrain of the Snake River Plain, are truly awe-inspiring. But it's not just the geography that makes Idaho unique, it's also the story of the people who have shaped its identity over the years. From Native American tribes to early pioneers and explorers, Idaho has a history of exploration, settlement, and transformation. When the U.S. Mint began working on the designs for the Idaho Quarter, it wanted to capture the essence of this remarkable state, and so the design process began. The Idaho Quarter, like its counterparts in the 50-state quarter program, features a striking reverse design that captures the spirit of the state. The coin's reverse features an image of the Shoshone Falls, one of Idaho's most iconic natural landmarks. Often referred to as the Niagara of the West, Shoshone Falls is a massive waterfall that plunges 212 feet into the Snake River, creating a breathtaking sight that draws tourists from around the world. The image of these majestic falls serves as a fitting representation of Idaho's natural beauty and its connection to the environment. Alongside the image of Shoshone Falls, the coin features a silhouette of an American bald eagle soaring above the waterfall, a symbol of freedom and strength. The state's name, Idaho, is prominently displayed, along with the phrase, famous potatoes, referencing the state's agricultural reputation as the top producer of potatoes in the United States. On the obverse, the standard design of George Washington's portrait remains unchanged, a timeless tribute to the first president of the United States. Washington's likeness, along with the inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, and, In God We Trust, is a hallmark of the U.S. Quarter series and has been a part of American coinage since 1932. At first glance, the 2008 Idaho State Quarter may appear like just another coin in the series, but as with many coins in the world of numismatics, there's more to it than meets the eye. To understand the true value of the Idaho Quarter, we need to dive deeper into the details of its minting process and the way it was produced. Like the other state quarters before it, the 2008 Idaho Quarter was struck by the U.S. Mint at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The minting process was largely automated, and the coins were struck in large batches, intended for circulation throughout the United States. The Idaho Quarters were produced in massive quantities, with millions of them entering general circulation. While most of these coins are still in circulation today, some have managed to escape the everyday wear and tear of spending, remaining in exceptional condition. Coins that remain in pristine condition are always highly valued by collectors, and this is where the story of the Idaho State Quarter gets interesting. The key to its collector appeal lies in the way the coin was distributed and the rare occurrences that took place during its minting process. Some 2008 Idaho Quarters, particularly those that were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, exhibit unique characteristics that set them apart from the others. One such characteristic that has made the 2008 Idaho Quarter even more sought after is the discovery of certain minting errors. As with many coins, mistakes can happen during production, and these errors often lead to a coin becoming rare and valuable. For the 2008 Idaho Quarter, one of the most significant errors involved a variety of the coin that was struck with a missing mint mark. Normally, coins from the Philadelphia Mint are struck without a mint mark, while coins from the Denver Mint are marked with a small d on the reverse side. However, some 2008 Idaho Quarters from the Philadelphia Mint were accidentally struck without any mint mark at all. This missing mint mark error made these particular coins stand out, making them rare and highly coveted by collectors. Another rare error found in some of the 2008 Idaho quarters involves a phenomenon known as the double die strike. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the die, causing the design to appear slightly doubled or blurred. These types of errors, though subtle, are highly prized by collectors who specialize in such variations. The 2008 Idaho quarter with a double die error can fetch a considerable premium, especially when it is in mint condition. These errors, combined with the general popularity of the state quarter program, have turned the 2008 Idaho quarter into a valuable commodity in the world of coin collecting. But it's not just the errors that have made this coin so desirable. It's also the unique connection that the Idaho quarter has to the state itself and to the broader history of the U.S. Mint. The Idaho state quarter is more than just a piece of currency, it's a reflection of the state's history, its culture, and its natural beauty. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like owning a small piece of Idaho's legacy. But for some collectors, it's the rarity and the errors that truly drive the value. Now, you might be wondering, how much is a 2008 Idaho state quarter really worth? Well, the answer depends on a few factors. Most of the 2008 Idaho quarters are worth just face value, 25 cents, but the rare error coins, particularly those with the missing mint mark or double die errors, can be worth far more. In fact, some of these error coins have been known to sell for as much as $135,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $135,000 for a quarter that, in most people's pockets, would be worth just a quarter. That's the magic of numismatics. The small details, the errors, and the rarity can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a true treasure. The 2008 Idaho state quarter is a prime example of how a coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions, can become a sought-after collectible over time. It shows us how small variations in minting, combined with a piece of American heritage, can elevate a simple coin into something truly special. So, keep your eyes peeled, collectors, because the next valuable coin you find might just be waiting in your pocket, ready to reveal its true worth. It's 2014, and the United States is living through an era of technological innovation, rapid cultural shifts, and a national identity that continues to evolve. The country has just come out of the Great Recession, and people are starting to rebuild their lives and their futures. In the midst of this complex and busy time, something simple, yet fascinating, is about to make its way into the pockets of millions of Americans. What is it, you ask? The 2014 Great Sand Dunes National Park quarter. If you're like most people, you might not pay much attention to the coins you carry around with you daily. They're just small, circular objects that serve a simple purpose: to make change. But in the world of coin collectors, something like a state quarter, especially one like the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter, can be more than just pocket change. It can be a rare treasure with a history, a story, and a value that will surprise you. Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the fascinating journey of this particular coin, and by the end, we'll reveal just how much it's worth today, which could be worth far more than you ever expected. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty details of the coin itself, let's take a step back and talk about the context of the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter. In 1999, the United States Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program, which became an instant hit. For over 10 years, Americans were treated to a new quarter every few months, each one representing one of the 50 states. As that program wrapped up in 2008, it left a legacy of beautiful, state-specific designs that resonated with collectors and casual coin collectors alike. But in 2010, the U.S. Mint continued the tradition of state-themed coins with the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This new series showcased national parks, monuments, and other notable landmarks across the country. The 2014 series featured 5 beautiful new designs, each representing an iconic national park or landmark. Among these 5 was the 2014 quarter representing the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve in Colorado. Located in southern Colorado, Great Sand Dunes National Park is one of the most unique and awe-inspiring landscapes in the United States. It is home to the tallest sand dunes in North America, towering up to 750 feet high. These dunes, formed by wind and water, create a mesmerizing desert landscape against the backdrop of the snow-capped Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The park is not just a visual wonder, it's also a haven for a diverse array of wildlife, including birds, reptiles, and small mammals, making it a popular destination for nature enthusiasts, photographers, and adventurers. When it came time for the U.S. Mint to design the 2014 quarter, it was clear that the Great Sand Dunes National Park would be a spectacular subject. The design team sought to capture the essence of this unique place, reflecting both the beauty of the landscape and the vastness of the dunes themselves. On the reverse side of the 2014 quarter, we find a design that does exactly that. The central image on the coin is a depiction of the Great Sand Dunes themselves. The dunes rise in the background, with their sweeping curves and ridges creating a sense of movement and fluidity, almost as though the sand is in motion. In the foreground, a figure can be seen standing at the base of the dunes, gazing up at their towering height. This figure represents the many visitors who venture to the park to experience the natural wonder for themselves. Above this stunning scene, the words "Great Sand Dunes" are inscribed, along with Colorado and 2014, marking both the state and the year the coin was minted. This design is notable not only for its beauty but also for the level of detail it manages to capture. The windswept curves of the dunes are intricately depicted, while the light and shadows on the sand create a sense of depth and texture. The design balances simplicity with complexity, focusing on the natural majesty of the park while still providing enough visual interest to keep the viewer engaged. As with other coins in the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the obverse of the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter features a standard portrait of George Washington. This image of the first president has been the design for U.S. quarters since 1932 and remains a timeless symbol of the country's heritage and leadership. Now that we've covered the basic design and history behind the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter, let's talk about its minting process and how it ended up in your pocket, or possibly your coin collection. The U.S. Mint struck millions of these quarters in 2014 at its mints in Philadelphia and Denver. The process was highly automated, with large quantities of coins being produced and distributed to banks and other financial institutions across the country. These coins were then passed through the hands of countless people, making their way into circulation, where they were used for everything from buying coffee to collecting change. But not all of these quarters would end up in the hands of everyday spenders. Some would find their way into the hands of collectors, who would carefully inspect them and preserve them for posterity. Coins that are carefully preserved, without the usual signs of wear, are known as mint state coins. These coins, which retain their original luster and sharp details, are highly valued by collectors. As you might expect, the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter is no different. For collectors, the value of a coin isn't just about the image on the reverse side, it's also about the coin's condition. A quarter in pristine condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, can fetch far more than a coin that's been heavily circulated. For example, a mint state 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter can be worth many times its face value of 25 cents, but there's more to the story than just the condition of the coin. Some collectors look for rare versions of a coin, ones that were produced with errors during the minting process. These errors, such as misprints, double strikes, or off-center designs, make certain coins highly valuable and sought after. In the case of the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter, there have been a few errors reported, such as double dies and coins with slightly off-center designs. These coins, while subtle in their imperfections, are highly coveted because of their rarity. And as is the case with many error coins, these examples can sell for far more than a regular, mint-condition coin. But beyond the errors and the pristine examples, there's something else that makes the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter appealing to collectors: its place in the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Coins from this series have become highly collectible over time, particularly as the series progresses and fewer coins are produced for circulation. As with any limited edition series, there is a certain level of scarcity that adds to the demand. With time, the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter, like other coins in the series, has gained attention and interest from collectors who see it as an important piece of American numismatic history. As more collectors seek out these coins to complete their collections or add to their investments, the value of the coin continues to rise. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? Well, for most people, the 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter in average circulation condition is worth exactly 25 cents. However, if you're lucky enough to come across one of these quarters in mint state or with a minting error, the value can rise significantly. Some of the most pristine examples have been known to sell for as much as $107,000. Yes, you read that right. The rarest and most well-preserved 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarters, especially those with minting errors, have reached astounding values at auctions and in private sales. These coins, often referred to as hidden gems, remind us that even the smallest of objects can hold incredible worth when they are part of a larger story, like that of the Great Sand Dunes National Park and the America the Beautiful Quarters program. So, what should you take away from all of this? Well, next time you're going through your spare change, don't overlook that 2014 Great Sand Dunes quarter. It might just be worth more than you think, potentially even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Whether it's a piece of numismatic history or an error coin, it could very well be sitting in your pocket, just waiting to reveal its true value.